What's up, everyone? So today, I don't know anything about this. It's a snapper with a commercial grade Honda GXV 160. It is a snapper, like I said, as you can tell by the bag. And the story behind this is I was sitting in my living room, heard the doorbell. Dude was outside, never met him before. It's like, hey, I've seen you work on these. I'm going to take this to the dump. Do you want it? Yeah, sure, why not? So that was yesterday. Today's today. We're going to look at it. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go over a couple things that I've noticed. I've not looked at the oil. I've not done anything with the exception of what I can see, which I'll show you. I see there is a nut missing for the air cleaner. I'm not seeing a rope, but I am seeing a pull cord right there. It's broken. So probably have an issue here. This right here, this SNAPPER, will tell me that more likely than not, this transmission is probably frozen in place. The adjustment at least, not the actual transmission, but that adjuster right there. It's dirty, not too bad though. And that's it. I don't really see too much of anything else. I literally put this off to the side of the house yesterday as soon as he got it, because I was actually about to leave. And then I pushed it on the table, grabbed you, and here we are. I didn't even have time to take off the addition. I'm about 95% sure there's probably grass in there too. The bag. So let's do a couple of things here. Based on the fact that there's a broken pull cord, I'm pretty sure we're dealing with a fuel problem. I suppose it could be a different problem. It's pretty old. So probably a fuel problem. Let's take a look at this oil. Hopefully we don't have an oil problem. Luckily for this, to take the cover off is pretty easy to repair the pull cord. Oil, however, is pretty decent. Granted, you're supposed to check it, not pushed in, so it could be low. Let's see what we can do. Took the air filter cover off, and the air filter, it was pretty bad. And there was a huge spider on it, so I'm gonna be a little weary of this next coming part. It was dead, but nothing. Let's disconnect the spark plug. More spiders. This does not have a clutch. So let's put something on the handle. The cable doesn't feel too healthy, but it works, so that's good. That's good. Has pretty decent compression. So generally, if you can have a real hard time doing it slow like this, you're pretty decent. So I suspect we're gonna have a compression problem here. I think what we're gonna do is we're going to actually what do you want to do? Replace it with this one? Is it the same? It looks to be the same. And just give it a pull and we'll repair it later, or should we repair it and then give it a pull? You know what? I'm just going to pull it with this. It's kind of cheat. Because if this is no good, which I'm kind of doubtful on, I don't really want to spend that much time on it, you know? So I'm gonna put those back on and I'll bring you back. Man, wouldn't it be nice if all I had to do was that? And the engine's running. It would be nice. I don't know why it's stuck. Unless it's the wrong pull cord. I don't think so though. It looked to be about the same. Good thing I pulled it before. Try that again. Of course. So there must be a height difference on the other one. So I guess we will be repairing it. Found the end of the broken line. Let's shove this through. See if the recoil is still going to recoil. Yeah, it looks like it. So that's good. I think I found out the cause of the problem. The height of this screw that's holding it in is a whole lot longer than the other one. And I was racking my brain trying to figure out where I got it. I don't remember. Then I'm kind of leaning towards it was part of a really cheap kit that someone gave me to install. It's like one of those, even Amazon wouldn't sell it type of kits. It's like $12, comes with a recoil, ignition coil, carburetor, air filter, front tire, all those for $12.99. But it is junk. And now we know why. Can't even use it. Just a waste of material. Okay, where's that hole? Right there. Okay. If I had thought about this logically, I would have gotten the cable ready. I'm gonna get the cable ready. Oh man, if you ever want to have yourself a good time, try doing this while getting a pull cord ready, all while holding this in place with one hand. It is just a pleasure and a joy. This is some of the thickest line I have, too. Might have to work on that. Don't really like how it's kind of sitting up top. That's getting better though. That's pretty flush. But I also don't like anything about that actually. So this is when having an assistant would be perfect. machine. Hot. Kind of melt it all together. There we go. Much better. Okay, I'm happy with that. Does this have one? Mm-mm. Okay. With an overhead valve engine, I mean, I'm saying it can't happen to flatheads as well, but with the overhead valve, they can go out of adjustment pretty more frequently than a flathead because of how they're done. I mean, to adjust, you pretty much have to grind down a gear or a valve. I say that because I'm going to pull this over slowly the first time, and as long as it's free, I don't really have to worry too much about kickback. I really don't feel like hitting my hand on the side of this. Yeah, it should be fine. Like I said, this is 99% sure we're going to do carb work, but I at least want to give it a try. Because you never know. We should even see if there's fuel on, huh? That might also be a good idea. Yeah, I don't see it shut off. Okay. Yeah, not looking too promising, but that's okay. I'm gonna make a video about this stuff though, but for whatever reason, someone had a really big issue with me using non-chlorinated brake cleaner for starting because it says it's non-flammable, and that was my problem. Even though in that video it started with it. Not sure how that works, but watch my next video on why I switched exclusively to non-chlorinated. Now, there is some brake cleaner that will not be combustible. That's a very different story. That was surprising how long that lasted. I know there's a joke in there somewhere, but let's try this. Maybe we don't have a horrible carb problem. Maybe. No, there is. Okay. Well, just like every other time, my floor is disgusting, so I'm gonna get this swept up, get this cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll get the carb working again. The ultrasonic cleaner is not on, at least it wasn't. So we're going to try take off this little grass chute thing. Okay, good. I was hoping this wobble sock would work. I did not feel like having to deal with that. So anyway, we're going to take it off because, just as I suspected, the transmission is frozen because of corrosion. Put some PB Blaster through this little slot. It's open to this little shaft. I also took my wire wheel and cleaned this up real good, and we're gonna put some PB Blaster on that too, or WD-40 or something. Probably let's do WD-40. That might be better. So this isn't like a normal transmission. I mean, it is, but it's not. So the belt moves this. Ew. The belt, not horrible. Anyway, and this disc or this wheel has like this rubber pieces on, a rubber part on it that gains or pushes traction on this wheel, and every time you pull on the handle, it transfers that motion through this other belt slash wheel and transfers it to the gearbox. So the problem is, it will run right now, but if you were to engage it, it'd be completely fast, like all the way as fast as you can go. So there's 3 things I'm thinking of right now. One, sometimes you can just put a little oil on it. It's been about 10 minutes. Give a nice, gentle, rapid tap on the side. You do have to make sure, like I said, oil both of these. And clean them first, because you don't really want to do this when they're dirty, because then you're just shoving dirt into where you don't want dirt to be shoved into. And then at that point, hopefully they move. If they don't move, we're going to get out the torch. And unfortunately, the torch very well might ruin that. We have to take it all off. So I'm going to give this a pull and see what happens. Oh my god, it moved. Won't go forward anymore. It did. Oh, and it returns. Oh my god, it just needed oil. Huh. Well, that's good. Well, I was gonna say you have to take off this wheel and take heat and break the rust in the connection with both of these, but we don't have to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some carb cleaner, clean that disc, and make sure there's no oil on it, because you don't want any oil on this metal piece down here. It needs to be very, very clean. Otherwise you will just be putting lubrication in a system that relies on friction. Yeah, I guess we're gonna do the carb next. So I'm just gonna clean it up a little bit more and be about our way. But I've never been this lucky. I've always had to hammer or take the torch out, but I guess you can't film everything. Something I will say I like doing is this. Kind of prevents this from happening again. Take grease. I think this is high temp grease. It doesn't have to be high temp grease. It's just what I had available at the time. I like to put it on here. Very thin coat. Because grease will usually stay on a little better than oil. Put it on both. This one could be a little heavier if you want to, but still probably the same amount would be perfect. All around. That's going to make sure it doesn't corrode as fast. Then I'm going to do this. We'll just wipe off the excess. I don't really see any excess, but in case there was. Yeah, well, seems to be fine now. I also cleaned up a little bit of the rust on there. You can do a little bit better of a job, but I want to do the grease trick before we do anything else. And now we have the carb, the fun part of the whole thing. I'm not going to show necessarily all this because I have a specific video only for this, but since the other part was so helpful, you know, seeing that all I had to do is put oil on it, I figured why not, you know? Which, like I said, I don't think I've ever had that happen. Excuse me. Oh, there is the third one. Not a single time have I ever had that happen. So I think I probably need to go maybe get a lottery ticket, or I don't know. I need to do something. Today's obviously a good day. Until I saw that. Oh my god. That is a whole lot of just disgusting. I'll take a vacuum real quick and get that cleaned out. That was disgusting. This has been sitting for some time from the definite looks of it. And crimp off the fuel lines real quick here. This does have a fuel shutoff. I don't remember which way is on and which way is off. I'm assuming that's on. You would assume, working on these for years, I would remember that, but that's where your assumptions would be wrong. What's that saying? Assumptions are the mother of all. I think you know the rest. Rhymes with the muck-ups. This choke system on this really kind of gets in the way. We'll look at the fuel here in a moment. Take that off. Little 8-legged friend just ran across my floor. Must came from this. Usually I would take this off, but it's not really wanting to come off now, is it? You can just pull this off with that still on there, but I really like to. It kind of bends this a little bit. Let's take a look and see what joys are in here. Okay. It's not empty, but it'll have to do. There we go. Came off pretty decent. And then I looked at that. It's like tarnish. Oh man, that's horrible. There's water in there, a little bit, not much. But other than that, the jet itself seems to be pretty decently clean. Wait a minute. That's new. Usually there's a little bowl you have to take off right here, like a sediment bowl. Interesting. Well, we know there's water in here at the very least. Come on. I just can't get that out. Well, luckily it's not that dirty, so we're just gonna cross our fingers. Get some of this dirt off of it. There we go. This does idle, so this position we'll have to remember based on the dirt that's on the threads on the outside. We'll just push it in all the way until we get to that point. Close your ears. There we go. Had to get rid of that dirt. I don't want it inside here at all. I'll clean that later. I'm going to put this through the carb cleaner. I'm going to drain the fuel and we'll take a look and see what's inside of it. Since I couldn't get out the center jet and the emulsion tube, I made sure to spray it out especially well. But it was pretty clean in there to begin with. Don't know why. I have a sinking suspicion that this is a aftermarket carb. It feels aftermarket. The fact that I can't get a screwdriver in that brass that's very brittle also kind of leads me to conclude that the fact that this is different, which, yeah, I mean, perhaps Honda is doing that now, who knows. This doesn't look like it's that new of an engine. Maybe it's because it's a GX instead of a GC. All good questions. But nevertheless, I should say. Clean the end of it off a little bit more. There we go. Threads are a little tore up, but that's okay. Is that the right one? I think so. And blow through here as well. Cover your ears. So if I didn't hear anything, I'd be concerned, but I did hear. You know what? Just for peace of mind, let's just take a bristle and go through. Oh, it worked. Okay. Even this isn't fitting in very well. And it didn't look like it was fitting in there well to begin with. Maybe that was the whole problem the entire time. This was a bad aftermarket carb. I drained the fuel. There wasn't really a whole lot in there. So that's good. It was bad, but it wasn't as horrible as I thought it would. Oh my god, this thing is just not wanting to cooperate at all. We might just put in this one. Oh, one of the O-rings is stuck in there. I do like this one a lot better. I know this one's clean, so. But you know what? Stuff has a real good tendency of going bad when you don't want it to, so let's just. Yeah, I went through. Okay. So hopefully this fits. 1,000 times better. That is also off of 160, so it should be the same. So remember, we have to keep it at this about the same level. That's about right there. Okay. Now, what do we do? Guess we just put it on and see what happens. Put the bag back on because I don't want air and what's left underneath the deck and all that to come shooting at my face. So, has fuel, new air filter. The oil actually looks pretty good. Let's give it a pull. It's on choke. Yeah. Try this again. Okay, there you have it. Wheels work. The engine just need to warm up a tad. Other than that, we are good to go. So what did we learn today? Well, we did a very brief carb cleaning. 2, kind of showed the best case scenario and explained the worst case scenario in a snapper transmission that's locked up. Belts look good, not gonna worry about them. If your belts are frayed, obviously get rid of them. And other than that, that's about it. So if you have a snapper and your wheels are frozen or your shifter's frozen, then definitely try that. It might work. I mean, look at me. And other than if it's not, then a little tap. Acetylene can also be useful. MAP gas also useful. Get it hot, soak it in oil, whatever you want to do. Preferably, I'd get it very, very hot if all other methods have stopped. But before, the little wheel, I take it off because it should be removable so you don't damage it. And then take a bottle of cold water after you get it hot and quench it. That usually will break the bond, and you can put a little lube and move it around, clean it up again, put more grease or whatever, and you should be fine. Put the wheel back on, you're golden. Other than that, that's about it. If you like what you see, keep watching, subscribe, follow me at Small Engine 101 on Instagram, and I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good day.